Thanks, Curtis. Beat me to it with the announcement. Alright. Hello, everyone. We are getting set up here for the next race. We got losers round 1, NightWolf versus ElectricFortune. And on commentary, we have Curtis and Stario.
What's up, y'all?
Alright. I think we're all set to get started. Are both of our runners ready to go?
Yep, ready to go.
Perfect. Then let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good
Go
luck.
on the other side.
Good luck. You're pretty synced up here, that's pretty good.
You'll love to see it. So yeah, this will probably be a closer one because I think their skill levels are pretty similar, although NightWolf has a little more recent experience doing runs and stuff.
I'm gonna check their leaderboard times. I do believe that you're correct about their skill level. Okay, they're only 2 minutes apart. This should be very close, actually. And NightWolf getting 2, not bad. Fortunately, only getting 1, which is nice. Little hiccup by ElectricFortune here at the start. There we go. That wasn't too bad.
The thing that I find with D1E is that any extra inputs you do just makes the trick like way harder to actually do consistently. Because you can get the camera setup you want just by pressing like 1 or 2 buttons and like just not thinking about it that hard.
ElectricFortune choosing to not save NightWolf might be saving after every prompt, so that'll, if that keeps up and there's no resets, ElectricFortune will save some time there.
So ElectricFortune turned the camera around here, which in my opinion makes it easier to like stand in a place where you're gonna throw the red that it's not gonna latch on to the other pellet. Because it's kind of tricky when you have the camera set up the other way around to like make sure that you're not gonna have your red go rogue like that.
NightWolf unfortunately not getting the EU one-shots despite living in the EU, so that's a little bit of an interesting phenomenon that we just saw. ElectricFortune gets that.
Neither of them got a really good load on the carry either. There was a bit of spaghetti there.
Spaghetti is such a good term for speedruns.
A bit of rigatoni on this day too here for both runners.
I'm more from Farfalle enjoyer myself, but I respect the rigatoni. NightWolf just kind of didn't mash start there in the cutscene. That's just something that takes time.
I wasn't paying attention too hard to.
I don't think either of these guys are going to be going for Louis skip, and yeah. Well, it's already day 3, so.
Okay, ElectricFortune there kind of just like mashing all his reds on the first pellet so that the second one didn't really get hit by a red until like the 5th one got thrown or something. Because pellets are kind of weird when you one-shot them. Like sometimes they'll go down right away, and sometimes they will like the red will be on its like upwards arc and it'll get the one shot, but it won't like start to drop the pellet until the red's coming down.
Sometimes it's like in the bouncing animation for the pellet posies, so it's like way to bounce before dying. It's really weird.
So NightWolf throwing those 2 reds at that pellet, which you would think it's like, you know, like obviously you just want to have 2 reds on that pellet, so I'll throw 2 reds. But the thing is that if you throw your reds at that pellet, they'll actually take longer to pick it up. Because the first one will still be in its animation of like, oh, I just killed something, and it'll be in its like celebrating state or whatever. So it won't actually pick up the pellet right away. So the faster alternative is to down it with a Pikmin and then C-stick 2 different reds into it so that they pick it up immediately. And yeah, the reason
I'm not
why
sure
that's...
what NightWolf's doing with those 5 pellets.
Okay, so there's a thing that specifically European runners seem to really have about these pellets. Like, I don't really see it too often from the non-Europeans, but the thing is that, like, they probably just watch how Jack does day 1, and they're like, oh, well, Jack obviously is doing the best thing on day... or not day 1, but early game, I guess, more specifically. They're like, well, Jack does this, so this must be fast, so I'm just going to do this. But the thing about how Jack loads those 2 5 pellets is that you have to be doing it pretty much optimally, or it's just going to be slower than if you just loaded them like 1 at a time and did it consistently. Like the thing that NightWolf went is that like the thing that Jack does, where you throw 1 Pikmin at one of the 5s and then another one at the other, so they're both being worked on at the same time. But if your Pikmin management and your execution isn't that good, then it's actually slower to go back and forth like that.
ElectricFortune down the right one, then loaded the left one, then loaded the right one, so it's kind of many different orders here.
I think that's even less ideal.
And NightWolf also had a little bit of a slip up with the egg push, but it doesn't matter that much. I think he flowers everybody here.
I think even if you fail egg push 1 time, it could still be faster than not going for it.
Yeah.
Which is why I never really had issues going for it in races, because like even if you like you either do it like normal and then you fail it once and then it like feels kind of bad, but then you know continue as normal, or you just kind of like take your time and just make sure that you get it. And I think either of those...
He didn't go for it.
Yeah, I mean, the other risk of going for it is that if you get double Ledge Nectar, then you just effectively are, like, in a really bad spot. But, like, it's not even that much worse, because, like, if you're fast enough with Egg Push, then you can't... you're not going to get punished that hard by the double Ledge Nectar, because it's, like, you had to sit there breaking the egg, but it's, like, that only loses, like, a second before you go up and around. So by that point, it's like you're only losing like a second compared to the person that didn't go for it at all.
Is ElectricFortune not going to trigger the Louis cutscene? Oh, now he is.
That's yeah, they're doing... Well, no, this is... There's 2 different like routes for this part, if you didn't get Louis skip. What ElectricFortune is going for is that you have to wait for both of the things to get up into the onion and then switch to Louis. Otherwise, these sprouts won't fall. I mean, obviously, you can optimize it further and further like, switch at the optimal time or whatever, but yeah, that's the idea. Whereas NightWolf did the thing that's like newer than that, but like not even new because it's been around for like years now by this point. Which is that you leave Louis by the onion before going to the bag, and then you switch to him after the gate is started. In my opinion, that's only faster if you can get the dismiss off during the nectaring. Because like you don't want to like sit there and do like a whole extra dismiss and re-whistling, because that's gonna be obviously a bunch of time loss.
NightWolf lost a Pikmin. This is very unfortunate.
NightWolf also is struggling with this load on this orange because he left like half of his Pikmin doing other stuff.
Yeah. I also like to have a word with whoever picked this seed because Far
And what
Citrus.
looks like
Wrong.
ElectricFortune did the same thing. He only had like 20 Pikmin going to the orange.
Yeah. He only has 7 to load the cap, which is slightly. Oh no, this cap is going to get in second.
It might still get in first, but he might lose time to the lockout. Because it does move faster than the orange, especially
Yeah.
because you're more likely to put leaves on the orange because it's, it requires more Pikmin, so just by proxy, you're just going to be more likely.
Well, he shouldn't have any leave because he went up to the. He didn't do egg push, so there was 2 nectars up there.
Well, you're always going to have leaves in here on a normal run because you have to pluck Pikmin after nectaring.
Oh right, I forgot.
Yeah. The only real way that you avoid lockout skip in the bug body. That's time
Did the
save.
second treasure even go in? I think it did, right?
It probably did. I'm pretty sure it did, yeah.
Although that was pretty optimal.
No, that's what we call time save, except not really, because normally we get it while the globe's moving anyway, so...
Yeah, so that's actually 0 time save.
But it looks way cooler. And it's the only one we get to do in Payoff Debt. Okay, spending way too much time on this globe load. Like, even if you end up not putting all your leaves on or whatever, you don't want to be standing still there at all doing it.
Yeah, because limiting factor is not the globe, it's getting the purples and getting the purples back.
Oh,
so
NightWolf lost
always
purple.
be faster. Oh no.
Almost lost. He's gonna lose another one if he doesn't deal with all these guys now, which is gonna be a problem.
You one shot though, coming in clutch.
Okay, well, NightWolf plucked 8 purples before coming over here, so he still has enough to do this at least.
Oh, he's like, yeah.
It's just a bit of a problem, because, like, now you're down a purple, and you aren't even out of VR1 yet, so...
It'll make lose definitely a few seconds on awakening when above grounds.
Okay, so how ElectricFortune did that globe load is a little bit less than ideal, because,
Home without home.
the place...
Oh,
okay, well, he's also losing a purple.
Okay, that one wasn't his fault. The purple just missed the homing pound.
Well, I mean, if we're being technical, it was his fault.
Yeah, if we're being technical, you should throw them to the side, but...
And if we're being technical, you shouldn't really be leaving until it's confirmed that he's dead either, so, like, it was only really a problem in the end because he was, like, so far away because he already committed to leaving. But now it's at least even, because they both lost a purple.
Yeah, NightWolf had a bit of a jump in the early value proposed, but ElectricFortune kind of caught up a little bit more here. NightWolf got a 1305 EC exit.
I think most of the difference was probably just ElectricFortune not going for egg push at this point. Like that,
Yeah,
I don't think...
there's a day 1 extinction fumble. Yeah, they're only 15 seconds apart, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty close still. Because, like, they both made, like, pretty similar levels of errors on, like, EC1 and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna talk about the way ElectricFortune loaded the globe being not ideal because you know, obviously the thing preventing us from leaving EC is the globe getting in. But then what is the thing preventing us from starting the globe? And it turns out it's the purples grabbing on. So you want to throw the purples on the globe, ideally as far like forward as possible, like as close to where you're coming back from plucking. And Electric Fortune actually put his reds there, so he had to move like up to the side to throw his purples on the side. NightWolf doing these throws in the wrong order because these shear grubs are going to actually take the longest to get in, even if you start them first. And since he's not starting them first, they're actually going to take way longer now than the pellets.
As Pi pointed out in chat, Electric Fortune is actually 2 Pokos ahead because his lockout skipped on EC1.
You actually don't get those Pokos if you
Oh, you
lockout
don't?
skip. Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
right.
same deal as with treasures. So Nightwolf having leaves here is going to be a little troublesome. Oh, but he has an extra Pikmin, so it's actually fine. It's just that the little growth combat was a little suboptimal.
I think Nightwolf's, what's it called? Honeywolf got triggered early, but he can trigger it again to move it back in the right spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those little things to be paying attention to. Like, it's pretty much always going to, like, be in a certain position like that. Like, the only way that it's ever off is if the Pikmin, like, on the farthest left point of the gate are, like, barely close enough to trigger its spawn point. Because it
Yeah.
could just, like, with the random enemy spawns above ground, it could just pick one that's, like, super close to the gate for no reason.
No, egg, or not egg, nectar is a little bit far from that wall, so there's probably going to be a couple leads left here.
Yeah, more than likely. Even if the egg's in a good spot, it's pretty hard to nectar all your Pikmin.
Yeah. It's not picking one, we can just kind of get everybody in one nectar. But the collision is still active when they're drinking it.
That looks like a lot of leaves.
Yeah, there's 3 leaf purples, I think, which is gonna... 2 purples and like 5 reds about. I think Fortune is not gonna do the throw 3 reds for the burn, he's just gonna kill those purples.
Yeah, like all the things that Nightwolf did around that gate to save time, it's like you have to be doing them really well for them to save time at all. So like,
Oh no, Pikmin are being lost.
oh yeah. And then like something like this happens, like you lose 1 red and all of a sudden you just lost all the time that you saved from being careless. Yeah, pretty standard bad RNG, Whole Beast 1, but it's actually fine RNG because there are a lot of bugs to get.
There's really no bad Whole Beast 1 RNG, because either you're rich or you're fast.
The Nightwolf's probably going to have a slower 3 and 4 because of all these leaves.
Yeah, especially 3.
It depends a little bit on the RNG. Like, if the Mahjong piece is a lot closer, then it could not end up mattering at all.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like that is the case, because all the flowers can just go on this, and the Mahjong piece should still just get in time, even with all leaves. Although I would have loaded it the normal way by C-sticking all around, because it would have ensured that the reds would grab on sooner.
There's a red not on the disc, and he threw an extra leaf red that latched onto the fire geyser because Pikmin AI is notoriously questionable. Now there's 25.
Well, it's just because it was like right in the way, and the treasure wasn't past it yet, so it was actually like the closer thing for it to latch onto.
Yeah.
ElectricFortune is doing the exact same thing. Like, this is a thing that, you know, you kind of miss until you're at that level where you're trying to optimize absolutely everything, but it is little things like this that matter. Like, when the two racers are this close, like, there's gonna be, like, big mistakes, but, like, it's pretty hard for a race of this kind of skill level to go on where neither of them makes any big mistakes. So, like, if they're both making, like, small little errors, then it's gonna be hard for them to gain an advantage over the other. NightWolf, unfortunately, not looking at the come down at all, so does not see that the card is not in the candy cane. That's basically the only thing that I would look for on the come down, is where is the candy cane room and is the card somewhere that besides that. NightWolf also not getting that Bulwark body.
He triggered Mentites early. Oh, that one's gonna scatter. Probably doesn't matter.
That was a really weird Metites dealing there, because Nightwolf woke the Metites early. Like, this is a thing that I've talked about in other races as well, but it's like one of the really hard things when you're like on the come up is like preparing yourself for the upcoming situation before it happens. Like, Nightwolf knew that he was on his way to go get Metites, but did not have a purple in his hands. And it's like, if you don't have a purple in your hands on the way over, then you have to wait for your purples to catch up. And you already know, like, several seconds in advance that the first thing that you're going to be doing is grabbing a purple. Also, Nightwolf didn't nectar any of his Pikmin on that nectar. He left Louis there with all his leaves and didn't nectar for some reason.
Oh, and the fire cutscene, that's... Yeah, the Nightwolf's gonna lose some time entering White Flower Garden.
He's gonna lose time for a lot of the next part of the run, actually. Because the next available nectar is White Flower Garden 3. And you really want to use that for your whites. And
no early, not what's it called? No fast Empress here, but that's a more... At this level, it's definitely a choice to try and practice that, because it's a fairly difficult trick.
yeah, this is honestly the expected outcome, I would say.
Yeah. That is not a good gauge.
Yeah. But I mean, he probably would have had problems getting the body in first if the gauge spawned close, so I mean, it's not, like, that bad. ElectricFortune going for Side Empress, that was really early, yeah. You can tell because the Pikmin, like, he C-sticked Pikmin on, and Empress was pretty much waking up before all the Pikmin were even on, which means that the timing was, like, really screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that almost died.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna reset on that, damn.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just can't have, like, 10 deaths there. Like,
yeah.
It's just a lot to take on something that should have 0 deaths. So yeah, Nightwolf at this point probably like a minute to a minute and a half ahead after that, which is a little unfortunate. Like, the thing about Empress is that, like, Side Empress only saves like a little bit of time over just doing the safe strat. Like, obviously, if you're doing a front Empress, then it's different. Like, that saves, like, a pretty big chunk of time. But, like, doing this, especially if you're waiting for more cycles, yeah, his timing was wrong again. Like, that was very wrong timing. I don't have audio of their streams, so I can't really say if it was early or late. But the thing is that Empress should not be waking up that early. So something was very wrong with this setup if that's happening. Also, he had deaths again.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get close enough to whistle all the guys there.
Like, I don't know if this is just like inexperience, because like you can't really get to this sort of skill level without knowing that Empress can be a problem. Like, it's one thing if you're like literally brand new and you just don't know, but like,
NightWolf, you can't be C-sticking back there.
well, I mean, Nightwolf had leaves, and losing any more purples would just be rough. So like,
Well, it did the attack, and then it didn't get any purples in the attack. Wow, ElectricFortune got an even worse gauge placement than NightWolf somehow.
So yeah, I mean, for Nightwolf, I mean, it's like understandable that like you want to take like the safety precautions, but like yeah, it was pretty much completely safe by the point that he actually turned around. Like, I think if you're gonna try to be safe at all, then you should just C-stick some like on your way in instead of reacting to that and turning around.
Also, NightWolf is like very broke because he didn't get that body on Volbe's 4.
Yeah, you expect to have a bit more Pokos here after completing one because one has a lot of sheer gut bodies that are pretty free.
I think 5 came in after the treasure cutscene, but during the lockout, so I think he's at 1708.
Okay, so Nightwolf, I didn't see where the other treasure was. Okay, yeah, if you're gonna do this, you either need to enter the floor as Louis, or you need to whistle switch immediately at the beginning, because Nightwolf's problem here is that he went all the way to the lid, and Louis was still in his party, so he had to run all the way back. And it would have saved a good, like, 4 seconds or more if he had left the captain at spawn to go to the other one. Oh, ElectricFortune, I don't know if I really agree with growing here. I think you kind of just have to deal with it. Like, yeah, 64 Pikmin isn't ideal, but, like, I think you kind of just have to suffer through it instead of trying to recover from it, because those reds are going to be leaves, and then you're going to have to pluck them later.
Yeah, like, for 2 Pikmin, that's maybe, like, 10 seconds of time loss, which like...
Oh my god, he didn't even have enough for the bag. This is why you really don't want deaths in early game.
Wait, the bag didn't come down? Oh no.
It was at 198.
Oh
dude,
no.
you
Okay,
gotta
maybe
carry
he
one of
knew
your
that.
you gotta carry one of your leaf reds here, bro. You like,
Yeah.
because you're still one short after this flower, and now you
Maybe he grew because he did the math and he had 199.
I mean, I would have probably not been able to do that math on the fly.
It's triggering the cutscene. Interesting.
Oh yeah, this is a really old thing. I'm surprised anyone still does this. Because it means that you're using an early Blues tutorial from like 2015 if you're activating that cutscene, rather than using like Urban's tutorial. Because I'm fairly certain Urban tells you not to activate the cutscene.
I'm pretty sure he does tell you to do that cutscene, because when I went the route, I used his tutorial and that was in the video.
I would be surprised if he tells you to activate the cutscene, because with the setup that he teaches and the setup he uses and runs, it doesn't matter. I'm like shocked that he suggests triggering the cutscene, because it's just like a raw 10 seconds of time loss or more.
Okay, ElectricFortune not getting any of these bugs? Question mark? I guess not.
Oh, what is going on over here? Yeah, he is not getting any of these. And that's gonna be really big because like those are like that's like 10 to 15 bugs or something that you just expect to get on every run, and he's not getting them.
Most runners are already like in like borderline tomato territory.
Yeah, like this is the thing, like people, until that people get good at the game, like not even like top level, but even just like good or whatever, like people don't realize that we're thinking about bugs for the entire run. Not just like when we're in like the mid game and notice that, oh hey, I'm short on bugs this run. Like no, we are thinking about it the entire run, and we know before we even like get through BK that we're low on bugs. Like it's not a shock to us when we leave BK at a specific number that we're at that number. We knew going into it. So like the thing about this is that like a pretty clear improvement that could be made is like a little bit more foresight, because like you have to think ahead by a lot in this game to have success. Because if you don't, then you're just going to end up in a situation and be like, oh god, I didn't expect to be in this situation. And it's not even just for bugs, it's for like a lot of things. Like Pikmin counts, like reacting to layouts, being in situations where you're dealing with enemies that you didn't want to deal with. Like, it helps everywhere.
Like they're just like arbitrary checkpoints, or like so-called checkpoints for money after pretty much every single cave, so you can keep track of. So it's not like a big ask. Like it's just something that you got to get in your head.
It's something that like most people have on their splits, at least until like a lot of the good runners don't, because they already know it in their heads. But like, it's just like some free information to know before you even start the run, and there's no downside to knowing it.
Okay, NightWolf, you gotta stop losing Pikmin. This is actually getting out of hand.
Well, at least they're even on Pikmin now, more or less.
Yeah, that was a good glove push.
NightWolf also didn't Nectar before this, which means that a bunch of leaves are on the glove now, and
Yeah,
it means they're not getting nectared here.
So he's still gonna have leave left after the entirety of White Flower Garden, which is not ideal.
Yeah,
Okay.
and this is normally a cave that we expect to exit with 0 leaves, which means that if you have leaves, then something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that white load switch there. That was only like 2 whites, like 5 Pikmin.
I think it's worth it for 5. Like, it's debatable when you only have like 3 whites, but like 5 is pretty clearly like, okay, yeah, this is saving at least a little time to swap here.
Well, I think he whistled off 5 Pikmin and he had 2 whites in his party.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for swap at all, then you would hope to get all of the whites that you're putting onto the glove. But yeah, I mean, you know, in theory, that's worth going for in NightWolf's
If you're just split break,
situation.
I actually see a lot of time difference, because early blues, if you miss it, you only get 1 chance at that. So if NightWolf
Okay.
resets, to be pretty much even again.
Okay, so NightWolf doing the OG Jack early blues, where you just like walk forward with a few Pikmin, and not only is this not faster, like it's pretty much time neutral, but you end up with like not your whole squad with you to like throw Pikmin at the ledges and stuff. So like if you run forward and you don't have the Pikmin that you need, then you have to go back anyway, and then it's slower. So like, what's even the point? Like you're making it like needlessly more complicated than it needs to be.
I did not check.
Oh.
Oh no, he popped back in. I did not check whether he saved his White Flower Garden 5, but I think he saved everywhere else. So
I believe he
think
did.
Yeah. This will actually be like almost even, because look at where ElectricFortune is. He's going right into 5.
There's still like a minute and a half of difference between them, but it's closer than it was.
That's right. Oh, right, he did save. Oh, yeah.
So ElectricFortune is going to be at 2182, leaving White Flower Garden. The normal benchmark that we try to shoot for is 8190. 2190, sorry. And especially because they got a whole Beast 1 with a lot of bugs, like I would expect them to be a lot higher on bugs than they currently are. Because I'm assuming NightWolf's at similar numbers. I wasn't looking at his Pokos.
Okay, that is a 2-cycle snag grid. Hopefully ElectricFortune flowered. Okay, yeah, he does flower before carry. Because he threw.
Yeah, I think this is way better.
Yeah, because he knew he threw only flower purples onto the snag grid. Also, that slide was awful.
No, yeah, see, NightWolf is doing, like, this is the setup that Urban teaches, and if you do this setup for early blues, then,
Oh, he misses it
ooh,
again.
he went too late on the nap.
Yeah.
He also didn't activate the cutscene somehow, which means that, like, it must have been, like, super late.
Yeah, so now we pretty much are back to even.
Yeah.
NightWolf was 2188.
Okay, so
Okay.
he's only 6 ahead. Like, off of a good Hole of Beasts 1, good is in a lot of bugs, like it was for these guys this run. I would expect a lot higher bugs than that.
Well, NightWolf did not get the Bulborb in Hall of Beasts 4, but ElectricFortune missed out on a lot of White Flower Garden 1, so that's kind of what's going on here.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Okay, that's a little bit of trouble with the knapsack here.
Okay, it's pretty much tied up right now. Nightwolf has a white up there, which is
How'd that happen? He's
not
probably not going to
ideal.
bring that to Snaggered Hole, actually. Unless he remembers.
I don't know if it's even within reach to be whistled.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's whistleable.
Oh, ElectricFortune is doing the same thing. I'm not sure why people still do this, because it's just needlessly more complicated and has potential to go wrong. Whereas the other way has no potential to go wrong and is very easy, so...
This knapsack has been plaguing Pikmin 2 runners recently.
Well,
Not
I
really
mean,
just want to get on the ledge.
It's been doing that since pretty much the beginning of time.
Right.
Because the thing about it is
Nice
that, like,
NightWolf got early boost there.
Yeah, it was good finally. But yeah, the thing about that knapsack is that, like, every single other knapsack in the game is either, like, unfailable, like, it's so easy that, like, it's impossible to fail it and be in the wrong spot, or it's so precise that we've come up with, like, a certain place to stand. Like, for Enter GK, you have to be in a pretty specific spot for it to work. Enter BK, the first knapsack, as well. But the knapsack to get up to the dice isn't really like either of those scenarios, because you can nap in pretty much what looks like the same spot and you'll just slide to a completely different spot.
Right. This
Like,
is actually really... This is really great how they kind of even up here after the mishaps early.
Yeah, now it's pretty much tied up more or less.
Okay,
Like a
that leaf
20-second
white is
difference in
definitely
this
on the dice, so...
So yeah, the trouble with the dice knapsack is that, like, you have to pretty much pick, like, a pixel perfect spot for it to be consistent, and it's slower to set that up than it is to just, like, go over there and hope you get it. Because it's consistent enough that it's, like, reasonable to go for that, but it's not, like, inconsistent enough that it's worth taking time to set it up. So we pretty much just wing it and hope for the best in runs, and cry when it doesn't work.
If the dice actually gets in before he gets on the ledge.
I think that's a consequence of the white and also having a lot of trouble with this snaggered hole knapsack.
Okay, yeah. And that is like 6 reds now.
He's
7.
also he threw his Pikmin super far to the right, and he's standing super far to the left, so he's having this issue where his Pikmin are coming back to him on the knapsack.
Okay, but that was also 8 try blue, which is not good considering it's a 1 and 3 to get blue.
Oh, NightWolf's purple is just whiffing off the back.
Yeah, purple's all missed. But Pikmin 2, if you're too used to playing ROM hack, that looked pretty sus. But Pikmin 2 just like gives you 5-second stuns, so purples are fair and balanced. So we can just kind of abuse the hell out of that. NightWolf's body did come in, right? Yeah, it did.
Well, yeah. I mean, even if it didn't, then you can see it from this camera angle, so you can just check if it got in or not.
Yeah.
ElectricFortune is only like a minute behind right now.
Oh, this Snagger Hole 2 looks absolutely awful.
Yeah, pretty classic bad RNG. Okay, so NightWolf tried to separate at spawn, but it just didn't work because he whistled back his reds.
And
I
now
also
he's bringing all
wouldn't.
of them.
Yeah, now he's not left reds back there for growing whites, so he's gonna be in a bit of a tough spot later. So the place that NightWolf chose to separate at was also like the wrong way towards the strawberry, which is a little less than ideal. I think you just kind of have to kill all of this like one by one at this point because it's gonna be awkward.
Probably there could have been whites on that pyramid, so hopefully there weren't.
I think it was mostly just purples and like one red.
This is really bad.
Well, it's like classic bad RNG. Like this isn't actually like the worst possible speed if it like if you play it well.
White got ate by a mum.
Yeah, I think there was a mum right before the water that he didn't deal
There was
with.
one left of the bridge that probably triggered. I
Yeah, I
imagine
think it must have woken
the
up.
burn at Pikmin were like carrying it wide enough to trigger it. Okay, yeah, like now you're just losing time whistling these whites and purples off there. And then you don't put Pikmin back on the mum. All for the white flower.
Well, I don't think that mum is gonna collect unless you like hard focus it. Like pretty much anything that's past the water that isn't a sheargub is like not collecting
It only
on this floor.
I think he threw a white in, that's why it didn't like
Yeah.
You still need to throw another red in.
He's also bumping this flower over and over again, which is making it like reset its cycle, which is becoming a problem because now he's gonna lose to the strawberry.
Yeah, do you know if Louis was even by the hole?
Well, I mean, I think Louis is like where ElectricFortune is right now for NightWolf.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Like I don't think NightWolf went and took Louis straight to the hole yet, but I mean he's at least over there.
Oh yeah, you're dead on.
Okay, ElectricFortune actually left the correct amount of reds here this time.
Yeah, he did leave red, so now this will be a lot of time gained here. And probably Pokos as well. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, the NightWolf's mum only died because it ate a white.
Yeah. Oh, you need to be looking at the water right now.
Yeah, you can't take that low cam off quite yet. Okay, he got lucky. But the strawberry just likes to like do jank stuff and Pikmin to stop carrying it if it goes over the water and you aren't looking at it. Also, we all just got lured by NightWolf.
Yeah, the thing about SH2 is that like you just cannot afford to take that risk and run, so you just need to train your brain to be able to do that whole like second half of the floor while holding the R button. Which admittedly is not really that hard. It's just like different from what people are used to. So they're like, oh no, I have to look at the water, but it's like free.
Yeah. Staggered Hole 4 is another kind of tricky floor to initially start learning because electricity and you gotta get used to that timing. And also gauge reads with the B door are important.
Okay, NightWolf did, in my opinion, the correct thing and just like made the blowhog shoot away from the marble, but then he did the incorrect thing and tried to do combat with it. Like it was gonna be completely safe the way that he loaded it and lured the blowhog.
Oh, yeah, that's a free 20 Pokos on that cherry right there.
The blowhog's also probably gonna end up being a problem anyway. Okay, NightWolf would not have found this cannon beetle if that white didn't trip, so that's really lucky. He also would have lost like 2 purples if that boulder didn't hit that dwarf. So NightWolf getting some classic EU bailout RNG on this SH4.
Yeah, for those unaware, the joke is that European runners have better RNG than American and Japanese runners, which is often the case. That Blowhog did not get stunned, is now just trolling that magnet a lot.
Well, no, see, I think the way that NightWolf handled the magnet passing is fine. I just wish he also did it for the marble.
Yeah.
Also, Electric Fortune killing the second Cannon Beetle, which is completely useless. It's also probably not really going to collect, because it's a little far from spawn.
Yeah, those things are 4 Pokos compared to Bulbors that are 7, so they're just not worth it. We're seeing a lot of hazard cutscenes today.
Okay, Electric Fortune. Okay, both of them also made the mistake of taking like way too long dealing with the marble. Like, you need to get this moving first and then speed up the marble. Also, like, you kind of just
Where are
gotta...
his purples?
You kind of just gotta get in there and do some stuff and say, like, if these dwarves are gonna munch one red, then they're gonna munch one red. But you gotta get that combat done with. Oh, those purples for NightWolf almost just all died. And then he just put a bunch of his whites on anyway. Like, we are just not using our brain today, I guess.
Okay,
Like,
that's a little harsh, considering these guys are, like, not top runners.
Well, I mean, yeah, but, like, what was the purpose of throwing... Like, okay, so let's think at, like, a conceptual level for a second. Like, you don't even need to be good at the game to understand this part. It's like, why are we loading the treasures with, like, 4 purples or whatever, like NightWolf attempted to do first? It's because you don't want to put your whites on the first thing that you find. It's because you want to save your whites for the last treasure. And the thing is that, like, you just got that treasure moving and then said, oh, I actually didn't want to do the smart thing. I want to instead do the thing that I was specifically trying to avoid. And I'm going to put half my whites on the magnet anyway. And it's like... It's not even like you're in a situation where you're dealing with a bunch of hard combat or anything. Like, SH5 is a pretty easy floor. So it's like one of those things where, like... It's not really in the heat of the moment, so I wouldn't even give him that as an excuse. It's just one of those things like, we need some better situational awareness to get to the next level. And then Electric Fortune's just doing the complete, like, skipping level 1 of that play that I just criticized NightWolf for, and he put all his whites on the
Where are your whites?
whistle.
You need whites to carry the marble. Real talk, I think NightWolf's kind of in panic mode because he doesn't know he's ahead, considering he reset twice.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, the thing is that, like, in a race, you can't really, like, assume where your opponent is unless you're literally watching the stream. And if he were watching the stream, then he would know he's ahead anyway, so, like, it wouldn't apply here anyway, but yeah.
Let's see if
Also,
he
just went the complete wrong way on this floor, too, which is, like, you know.
He might have been searching, he might have just not known. Also, that's -1 purple.
I mean, if he's searching, then, like, you know, sure, that's why he did it, but I don't even think... So, like, the thing about searching is that, like, if you search the way that's away from the hole and get nothing, then you just wasted all that time. And then if you go towards the hole and it was there, then you would have known not to search the other way at all. So, like, I just think searching the, like, rooms that aren't towards the hole first on SH6 is just, like, a bad idea. Like, it's never going to be the ideal scenario. Like, if you search the other way first, you're never gonna get the ideal scenario for SH6 where you just find it on the way to the hole. You're always either gonna have the worst scenario where you wasted time searching, or the mid scenario where you got it, but it's not towards the hole.
Also, holy purple lost, that just ate 2 more.
Yeah. These runners might start having some problems on Enter BK because of the purple counts.
Yeah. Fortunately, you can't just run away from the snagger. Like, you gotta...
yeah, this is gonna be a problem.
Gonna kill it.
Like, yeah, if you're gonna do this combat at all, you have to do it immediately, or this is gonna happen.
Yeah, now you have leaves, and this might not even have the treasure. Okay, yeah, growing whites is good here, especially because, like, it's animation. Let's see if he gets rewarded.
Well, yeah, I don't think it had, because NightWolf didn't get it either.
That body's not getting in. Because you have to pluck here. Yeah. Oh, don't wait for that body.
Well, he might force it because he's probably a little low on bodies.
Okay, yeah, that is fair, considering the White Flower Garden won lack of money there.
I mean, if you were going to force it to begin with, I probably would have just put all whites on, but, like, you know, whatever.
And I wolfed at 3247. I feel like that's low. I don't know numbers here, but
Good Poco pace is like 3260 out of SH on no
okay,
lines.
so he's quite a bit behind.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like unrecoverable. It's just like, you know, you expect to have more by this point.
Is this Pillator gonna die to this? No. And also kill two purples.
Yeah, these guys are gonna be really short on purples for this above ground.
They're gonna be short in reds. They're gonna be just short in Pikmin because you just use them.
Yeah, they actually just have no Pikmin.
Yeah. BK4 is gonna be a very long floor for these runners because they need to grow purples there.
Okay, if NightWolf were smart, he would have taken purples out of the ship there. And probably the white that's in the ship for him as well. But, I mean...
I'm not sure he remembers that those exist. Those reds, I think, will grab on.
Yeah, they should. I think they grab the bulb from a pretty decent distance on this above ground.
Okay, so 30.
ElectricFortune might have to.
3255.
Oh, he's getting nectar here. So like the thing is that like the only reason you would get this nectar is like if you know it's a thing from watching other runners recently. But if you know that that's a thing, then like that would mean that surely he's done his homework in other spots like Empress, which.
Or he's not nectaring ? Question mark.
Or he's just not taking it all. Okay, he's getting his blues, which is fair.
Okay. There's
he also,
one
except he
pellet.
put a bunch. There's like at least 2 whites on those pellets, I think.
I'm not sure this globe is not getting carried. He doesn't have enough Pikmin.
Yeah, this is not enough Pikmin. He also didn't throw one.
Wow.
Oh, it is enough Pikmin, by like 1.
Yeah,
he also didn't. He didn't throw one to the. Well, I mean, I think it just kind of does this. Okay, he had barely enough.
What was that, 101?
Oh, NightWolf had a bunch of stuff go to reds, including the big bulb orb.
Oh, that's gonna be not great. And a pellet, I think, just got in. The ElectricFortune just forget the route. He seems a little bit lost here. Oh, he didn't bring a blue to knapsack. Oh.
Also, were we saying ElectricFortune the whole time just now instead of NightWolf? I was not.
No.
My brain
is.
Names, I think. Okay, good.
My brain likes to not chat, we're doing a low Pikmin race here, Kappa. Which is a category, but not ideal for races?
It's one of the categories of all time. NightWolf's probably going to lose a lot of those shear grabs to going to the Red Onion.
Yeah, remember, I was in a race once where I had 44 blues in the next split. That's not fun. Might be happening here, though.
That's not ideal. At that point, you kind of just have to suck it up and grow a bunch of blues in VOR.
Like, the thing, you either have to do that or, like, underload the ring, then go back and put whites on it. Or, like, it's not good. Yeah, wow, NightWolf had exactly enough to carry the globe.
Well, he also napped back with a purple. Okay, ElectricFortune's globe is probably not moving, if I had to guess.
I wasn't quite looking over there.
I think he knows because he's stopping all of this. But he's also taking all his Pikmin that he needed for the cask with him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, he knows at least.
Okay, why would you not put the white on here? But, you know, fine.
Yeah, okay, why are you napping with the white flower?
Yeah, there's some decisions being made here. Also, you're not going to be able to nap up to BK with Louis, which I don't know if he realizes yet or not.
I'm not sure if he knows that the hitbox is going to be troublesome for him.
This is just like another one of these examples of like, you know, lack of foresight coming back to bite the runners. Because like, it's one thing to be in this position where you're really low on Pikmin, but like you have to recognize that it's going to be like that before you get to the split and have to react on the fly.
Okay, what happened to ElectricFortune is like not entirely his fault, but it's just like a quirk of how water works. Because that Awakening Wood water box actually extends like pretty far because it just goes under the ground, so it doesn't matter. But if you whistle off any carryable object that is slightly above water, but like on actual land, every Pikmin will stop carrying it, which happens to that globe right there, which is just Pikmin 2 being weird.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know why he was stopping the globe to begin with. But
I think he just wanted to take a couple off. Okay, that's one more.
Okay,
purple flag
NightWolf
down.
is struggling a little bit.
ElectricFortune hopefully will make it before the day ends.
Well, he's using Louis, and he might not know that that's a bad thing, so...
Yeah.
You may have had a Curtis dad cameo in the background.
Awesome. Yeah, he definitely doesn't know that Louis just isn't good for the snapsack because his hitbox is slightly taller.
I don't even know.
Like, changes something here.
I don't even know if the fact that it's taller is why it's bad. It's just that it's different, and that makes Louis lay down differently and get like bounced around differently in the spot.
Yeah, he's sliding a lot in these knapsacks.
Because this is one of the ones that's like really precise, so we have to come up with a really specific setup to make it consistent. And it turns out the setup we normally use with Olimar just never works with Louis. Like supposedly it's possible to get up there with Louis, but I have no idea how. ElectricFortune is probably going to sit here and do this 40 more times and not realize, and then he's going to go into the next above ground and get it first try because he starts with Olimar.
If that happens...
And then he's going to be like, this game is so bad. And then we're going to be like, it's actually not bad. You just didn't know that this is not doable with Louis.
This is just a thing that happens to you once and then you learn. Like, it gotta happen to you once. Okay, I'm not sure Flora's purple flowers from NightWolf.
Ooh.
He is switching captains at least. Maybe? Oh. Oh, he switched to Olimar, gave me false hope.
NightWolf is playing it really risky when the gauge is really low, because he left a bunch of Pikmin on that anode.
Oh no, we don't like to see pauses.
ElectricFortune appears maybe giving up, if the Discord chat is indicative of anything. Which I hope does not happen, but it may happen.
Yeah, that's just really rough.
He also grew reds with the big bulb orb on accident. I mean, this
really
is
not looking
also...
good for even if he is continuing.
I mean, this also just kind of goes to show, like, Pikmin 2 is one of these games where, like, knowledge is everything. And if you're not, like, actively playing, then you're not gonna know the things like that.
I'm not
that are,
sure
like, crucial.
NightWolf plucked his purples. Kind of
yeah, he definitely left while there were still Pikmin in the ground.
There's only 3, though, so...
Well, it was a max of 3. Did he enter the cave with 100?
I don't know. But then
there's also a purple flower
like...
on... He might have just not seen one on top of, like, another one or something. There's also a purple flower here that he might choose to use.
Well, it can be here. Sometimes it doesn't spawn.
Oh, yeah, it's 94% of the time here.
Because that red just... Oh, mine
Yeah,
just
that
went
red
big.
is dead. Okay,
I
so
like
I
the lure
think
here, but I don't like the missing the purple throw.
I also don't like the amount of back and forth that took place. I also don't like the fact that he lured when the skull was here.
Yeah,
He
like
should have
that.
just...
You don't lure there if the skull is right behind
Yeah.
it. Because you go around, start skull dig, then you do the combat, and they're coming back at the same time.
Even if you're not sure if the skull's there, you at least need to check before you make that play.
It looks like ElectricFortune is just gonna keep going, which we like to see. Oh, look at that! It's beautiful.
Yeah, he said in the Discord that he was considering forfeiting, and I told him to do it with Olimar instead. So he probably got that knapsack first try and was like, "Oh yeah, I was just being dumb the whole time."
Yeah, we
Unfortunately,
usually don't like.
he's not napping in the right spot for this one. This one might work. Okay, no, it was
We're
still
not
too
like
far
supposed
down.
to give runners hints, but like that was
But
just a
like,
little mean from the game there.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, not even like mean from the game. It's just one of those things that like he probably just thinks the game was screwing him, and it
Yeah.
took somebody to come in and be like, "Hey, this actually had no chance of working the whole time." Oh, NightWolf doing the thing that I do. Hog.
Monkey noises from Curtis because somebody actually
Yeah.
takes his advice.
Ooh, monkey noises. So the thing about the start of this floor is that you need to put reds on those fire geysers because obviously this stuff's going to be pathing through here. But the thing is that there's like multiple ways of dealing with that, and what most people do, so like the level 1, right? Like when you're brand new, is that like you put like 1 red on each fire geyser like systematically, and that's really slow. So then the level 2 that like most runners do is they will go like, okay, well, what if I just throw reds on one of the fire geysers, and then they go like back and forth and deal with them all systematically. But the problem is that like you could get really unlucky with where the reds end up afterwards, and they won't deal with all the fire geysers, and then you're really screwed because all your purples die. So the level 3, which is what I do, is that you grab a red on your way in, and then you like fan your reds out to all the fire geysers, or at least multiple of the fire geysers. And that's what NightWolf did. Like you kind of treat it like you're throwing purples on a group of anodes to flip them, where you just fan out a bunch of purples in front of you, like all over the place, and don't care where they're going. It's kind of like that, because that's just kind of like the fastest way through there, because you're the fastest while also still being completely safe, I should say. Because the situation you want to avoid, obviously, is the unsafe one, but you also want to avoid, the slow one.
ElectricFortune is continuing, and he had to grow blues on Enter BK because body didn't get in, and a couple pellets also went to Red Onion.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much blues each of them have.
We'll see NightWolf pretty shortly, but it'll be a while before we can look at ElectricFortune's numbers.
Well, so 49.18 is like really low
That's
money.
broke. Yeah, that's already
you are
Love Nugget.
pretty broke. Well, I mean, it's not quite like guaranteed Love Nugget, but at the pace that they've been playing with bugs, it's probably going to be no Love Nugget.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a good runner and you see that number out of BK, then you can kind of go hard on bugs in the next 2 caves and save it, maybe, but at the rate that these guys are playing, that's probably not going to be the case, so...
Well, if you see that number, you hit XP and start. Normally.
Well, not necessarily, because it could also just mean that the floors were really fast and didn't have bugs at all, but... Also,
Yeah.
this is another one of these things where, like, you kind of got to be prepared for this to happen ahead of time. Like, if you see these dweevils right in the path and you're not, like, being careful and babysitting it, like, you got to expect that they're going to stop the treasure.
Like NightWolf with that 15 purples after growing more.
Yeah, this is still not very ideal.
That didn't come with him. This is probably going to be a slow battery.
Well, he has 24 ways, so it's like
Well,
fine.
it's gonna like dig slower.
Yeah, well, it's still
Considerably.
not like the end of the world. Like if you
He
only
has
had like 20
49
whites,
blues.
Yeah, 49 is a little less than ideal.
Not only did he switch to armor, he also didn't C-stick the one purple onto the battery.
Well, the thing is that you want your purples for the dwarf kill if you're going for that. Like, if NightWolf only has one purple here on the battery and he puts it on the battery and it's not with him right now, then he has to do this with whites or not at all. So, yeah.
Oh, right.
That's
I just
probably
forgot
why.
about the dwarf kill.
He's also going to lose these 2 purples. Okay, he almost lost those 2 purples. Okay, ElectricFortune growing his purples here.
Okay, if not even 5200 after day 6. The day 6? Whatever day it is, day 5.
Yeah, that's day 6. Well, it's going to be day 7 for ElectricFortune for reasons.
Oh,
but
how
yeah.
did white die? Hold up.
Yeah, we are, we're remixing this Wollywog combat a little bit.
Oh,
Also,
that's a
he
lot of Pikmin
is
lost.
losing all his purples because of anodes.
That's the Pikmin 2 special.
So he decides to grow with this flower too and finds the glint beetle on the way, which is convenient.
Yeah, technically no time loss for his chosen path.
Okay, so normally taking blues out here is faster. Okay, well, I mean, not if he's gonna pluck in the middle, but like
I think that was
normally,
a mistake. I think he was mashing
well,
A.
maybe. I mean, yeah, normally we take a blues out first because with 60 blues, you need to do it
7
first.
reds, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, this is just not worth it. Like these 7, like the Pikmin, the reason why you would take out reds at all is because of the scrap, or not even the scrap, the throws.
Oh.
But the thing is that being low on blues doesn't impact the amount of Pikmin you have for the throws. So taking out reds doesn't really do anything on this split.
Also, NightWolf doing the cool thing because he's the. Wait, how old is lifeguarding now? It's actually kind of old.
Like a year and a half to 2 years or something, maybe.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know.
It still feels new because it's awesome and epic and sick.
Okay, so NightWolf did the classic where you try to dismiss on the treasure, but your whites were like inside you, so you have to like so the whites go like pick a random direction. Also, this is not gonna work with 35. You need to have 34 or lower. Oh, it is gonna work with 35, apparently. I'm just dumb.
I thought it wouldn't. But yeah, there's this obscure mechanic where if you have like 35 or 34 Pikmin or under, and you C-stick, they'll all form a straight line, but if you have any more, they'll like form a cluster.
Yeah, they have like ranges where they like decide what formation they're gonna use when you C-stick. I think like the amount of Pikmin you need for that one is pretty specific. You need between apparently 35 now, which we're just learning, and the lowest that I've ever gotten it with was like 20 or 19. But that one requires a little bit of skill. Whereas if you have like any more Pikmin than that, then it's pretty easy. Okay, ElectricFortune, like, probably not collecting that big Bulborb unless... Especially because he's just not forcing it at all.
Well, now he's gonna force it, but it's too late. It's not coming in.
Yeah, now it's gonna lose a lot of time to force, as opposed to being, like, mid before if you tried to force it.
11 for the bridge, I think that's enough. Or 10, I mean.
Well, like, the minimum that we go for is, like, 12, but, like, 11's pretty much fine. Like, he'll probably have to wait a little bit, but it's, like, okay.
Yeah, this is one of the free tier of knapsacks. Because, yeah, it's free.
Yeah, you can be in, like, such a wide range of spots around that area and it'll still work.
It's honestly so big, it's impressive that didn't get through testing.
I mean, knapsacking in general is probably just one of those things that like they just didn't consider at all.
Yeah, there are just some like spots in vanilla where if you knapsack, like Pikmin will just carry you and you'll get stuck.
Yeah, they probably like added it in Pikmin 1 for a meme and then brought it back in Pikmin 2 as like meme level 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then they just didn't like do anything with it or like use it once.
They probably brought it back just so they could fill more upgrade slots.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate actually.
Because like
I am
they're
shocked that that knapsack works for ElectricFortune.
I mean, like, who from the testing team would like go to that spot in this room to try knapsack? Like, that's like, there's no way any sane person does that.
Well, I mean, with ones like those, it's pretty much just like, okay, you skip walking around on an easy sub-level. But, like, with others, it's pretty egregious. Like, you get to skip, like, entire gates by going over the wall.
Hey, look, guys, they're only one sub level apart, Kappa. Why is it going that way? Oh, this room is very cool like that.
Yeah, this room has really weird pathing. For some reason, things like to go towards the edges from various spawn points.
Yeah, Nintendo's known for like having great game optimization, but they optimize it too much. Like, really, one extra passing node, that only saves you 8 bytes.
Something like the weirdest one that I've ever seen is like if the spiral room is attached to the big room, but on like one of the short ends, and the treasure pass out of that. Let's say that the spawn room is on the other side, but on the right, like at the farthest one that's on the long side, on the right side. The treasure will path out of the spiral room and go left, and then go back right halfway through, instead of just going to the right to begin with. Like, it's absurd how weird the pathing is on certain rooms.
Yeah.
Okay, NightWolf actually is doing this floor kind of okay.
Why
Okay.
the utter like shock? Like, wow, these butters are doing good.
No, I just mean like in terms of like speed compared to like how he's executing it, this was actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
Because like he went in pretty urgently and dealt with the dig and stuff instead of sitting there dealing with enemies.
this sub level had a high level of Dendori.
Especially because it's kind of tricky on ones like those with the snitch bug there, especially.
Like, ElectricFortune did 2 purple takeouts and still has 1 left in the ship.
Yeah, being particular about the amount of purples you take out here is not really worth it. Like, it should either be like all of them, or you should just like hold down on that menu and take out however many you press A on. It shouldn't be like a particular amount of purples here.
Yeah, so he held down, he had 17, then he hit A on 15, then went back, held down, but then it wasn't enough, because you can press D-pad twice, but he held down, and he got 1 more.
NightWolf just almost threw away a white for no reason. Also is refusing to take care of any of this fire either, or the enemies.
This fire's a problem, NightWolf.
He also has reds, and which is not a regular.
Red, not using them.
Which is also not a regular occurrence in SCX.
Yeah, like, if you're gonna bring reds, like, change your mindset, but don't bring reds and then act like you don't have reds.
Oh, and got some Pikmin ran over. 2 purples.
Oh.
Okay, so this combat is pretty easy.
You don't need to take that fire geyser out.
Yeah, none of this fire needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, you should have realized that there's nothing else over here, like, way sooner. Do not collect that.
Yeah, this body is not getting in.
Probably don't need to kill this guy.
Yeah, I actually would have used that guy to kill that fire geyser. Because NightWolf used all his reds for the treasures and stuff.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the cannon beetles like are really bad at shooting Pikmin on treasures, so the bullets just kind of break before they kill anybody. So they're kind of not a threat.
Okay, NightWolf is putting all his whites on the spring, and okay, now you realize that he had all his whites on the spring, and
Now
is
there are
going
no
to fix
whites on
it.
the spring.
Well, there's like a few. So,
And
like,
now
it'll be
it's
alright.
better. Yeah, this will be good. That gear is unfortunately still getting Pikmin on.
He also should be deloading this guy instead of doing literally anything with this guy.
You already saw the hole, and you didn't leave anybody by it. How did Blue die?
I don't know. So it's a pretty common occurrence until you get like, I mean, even when you're up there in skill, it's really easy to do this. But like, when you see where, like, when you enter a room, you should always have in the back of your mind like, is the hole here? Because obviously, like, taking time to look for the hole is slow, so you want to like be able to see it if possible. So like, what I would have done if I was NightWolf is if I did the combat first, which I don't even know if combat first was like how you should have played that layout, but that's besides the point. Like, if you go into the combat room first and you see the hole is there, you should just leave a captain there. Because like on some floors, it's like maybe you can have time to bring a captain back there after the treasures are moving, and then it's faster. But the problem is that, like, if you end up in some sort of situation where that's not the case, then it's really bad, and you're gonna lose time to getting to the hole. So
So
it's the
ElectricFortune not doing the lifeguard strat, which is very sad to see.
yeah, I'm shocked that he knows about the glint beetle nectar strat because that's way more new than the lifeguard. Like, I'm shocked that he does that but doesn't do the lifeguard.
Yeah, having to grow 15 here, they're all pretty close. They might grow 15 anyways, but especially with how low they are.
Well, they both have a lot of whites.
They have good
Surprisingly.
whites, just not anything else. Also,
Yeah,
I
like
did not see
whites.
how many blues ElectricFortune had, but now he definitely has enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so I think having like a mid amount of blues, like 45 to 50 something, like you can pretty much remedy any amount of blues that you have in that range by
Oh,
just dismiss.
NightWolf, do it!
Ooh, he gets it.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Now that's some Dandori.
So yeah, like if you don't have enough blues to beat the ring dig, then the way that you fix that is just by dismissing on the plug. And it's like you're gonna lose some time sitting there waiting for the plug to break, but in my opinion, it's just better to do that than it is to like grow a bunch of extra blues. Like, if you're in a situation where you need to grow like 15 to 20 more blues, then you should just be dismissing on the plug.
Okay, you should not be throwing blue Pikmin onto a fire weevil on SCX6. Like what?
Okay, NightWolf sat there for like 7 seconds doing nothing, just like looking at that treasure, and now he's gonna
Don't
lose
throw
all his
there.
whites. Okay.
That was close. Low-key, this might
Okay,
have to be
this-
janky pathing.
Okay, that was another instance of like NightWolf ran all the way up to the Dweevil and then sat there like, oh wait, what am I supposed to do? And then switched to a purple. Whereas like, you know the first thing you're gonna do when you want to get the treasure moving is you're gonna down the Dweevil with a purple. So you should just grab a purple on your way in, instead of sitting there being like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Okay, now I grab a purple now.
Like in the second room, like he got a purple, then walked out to the Dreechy Bug, which is like you should do for all the combat on SCX6.
It was also not great that he like sat there for so long, like waiting to make a decision in front of the first treasure. Because it's like, even if you
scary, they'll make it shock.
yeah, that's gonna be okay. But yeah, even like if you don't know exactly how you're gonna handle those two anodes, the very first thing you know you're gonna do in front of the dial there is you're gonna deal with the poison first. So I would have just thrown whites on the poison and then figured out my game plan while it was being destroyed, instead of sitting there for like 7 seconds waiting to formulate a game plan.
Also, ElectricFortune's Earthside might have some interesting pathing going on when he comes back.
I think he got it past the like circle thing on the ground, so it should
like
be
in between the
fine.
circle thing and the little lip in the concrete.
If it's in between, then it might cause problems. But I thought it was
in
like
between.
I thought it was like fully past. I must not have just been paying attention though. Okay, this Romeo kind of just has to die turn 1. Like, it's...
Turn 1.
Yeah, like, there's just no other, thing you can do about this guy.
He's just in the way of all the shit.
NightWolf also completely, like, full sending into that room without looking at anything, so, you know...
Yeah, that was, like, oddly barbaric.
Yeah. Oh, Sunshine Community hitting us with that fat raid. Pretty pog.
Yo. What's up, Sunshine Community?
Shoutouts to JPEP and J7.
We need more J7.
So yeah, for those of you coming in just now, this is the Pikmin 2 Payoff Debt Tournament of 2024. We are watching a losers round match between NightWolf and ElectricFortune. NightWolf being a runner that's been around for a pretty decent amount of time, but sort of just recently coming up in terms of skill level. Oh, this is scary.
Oh my god,
this might be a... Oh, yeah, it's a reset. Okay, so the issue that NightWolf ran into there was that you want to C-stick your Pikmin into that treasure because, you know, you need to get that treasure moving. That's pretty much the fastest way to load any treasure of any decent size.
NightWolf, you gotta reset here. Like, that's too much loss.
He might be trying to force it because he already spent like a minute plus on this floor. Yeah, I mean, he could use the queens or just take out reds. I think not resetting is, like, debatably fine.
Oh wait, there are queens in 8. I forgot about those.
Yeah, there's 2 queens. I mean, they're kind of slow to use. Oh, so we got some text.
What?
Oh, and we got the game moving too.
What's going on here?
NightWolf expressing himself in the most creative way possible. Hitting treasure cutscene skip is 1 frame. So you can skip treasure cutscenes above ground, like completely, if you pause and end the day. Or you can do what's called a value skip or a lockout skip in a cave, where you go through the hole or the geyser at the same time as a treasure getting in. But the problem with doing either of those is that it skips the Pokos. So you'll never see someone do that up with a treasure in Payoff Debt, at least intentionally. But yeah, doing it above ground is 1 frame, doing it in a cave is 2 frames. At least doing it by using the hole at the geyser is 2 frames. If you like paused in a cave to do that, it would be 1 frame, but there would also be no use for that. So yeah, it's pretty much just like an all treasures exclusive tech.
Although we did see one earlier this run because you can lock out that.
Yeah, you can actually you can also do it.
Cutscene of the bug body cutscene.
Yeah, you can also do it with just like other cutscenes. So like ElectricFortune did it in this one with the bug body cutscene in Emergence Cave, which doesn't actually like do anything. It's just funny.
Okay, 32 Pikmin loss is a little rough, but he is quite a bit ahead.
Yeah, NightWolf had a pretty big lead because for those who just came in and missed the first half of this race, they were pretty much even out of White Flower Garden because ElectricFortune made some mistakes with Empress Bulblacks, but then NightWolf made some mistakes with early blues, so it kind of balanced out. But then ElectricFortune had a lot of problems on the above ground before Bulblack's Kingdom. So that's why there's such a big discrepancy in time here. This is also like sort of the lower skill level of the bracket, which is not a dig on the runners at all. It's just kind of the reality of this situation. And yeah, Pikmin 2 is a hard game in case people didn't know that already.
Also, ElectricFortune getting punished with bad Lara RNG, just getting Mitites for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, Mitites are 5% per egg. So yeah, that's a little bit of time lost because it scatters your Pikmin around. He also put all his whites on the treasures, and some of his purples as well, I think, and you kind of need them if you're doing the treasures in this order. SEX3 is a particularly complicated floor for Payoff Debt because it has 3 treasures and it has a lot of different variations in terms of like where the rooms are placed and where the treasures are placed. So coming up with a good game plan here is really hard. So yeah, Electric Fortune pretty much just miscalculated where he would need his Pikmin at the end of the sub-level, so he'll probably have to go back and fix that later.
Because the buried cannon beetles have like significantly more HP than the non-buried cannon beetles. And yeah, they just don't die without purples very fast at all.
Exactly. It's also a problem that he has all his whites at spawn right now because this is going to be the only treasure moving at the end of the floor, so you want your fastest Pikmin to be on the last treasure in an ideal world. So he's probably going to have to go back around now and deal with that. But he also didn't deal with the fire, so this is going to be a bit of a
That
problem.
second fire geyser, again, you don't need to kill. This first one you do.
Yeah, he's going to run into some problems with this. I would honestly just, like, have
Well, now
let
you
it
don't need to
pass.
kill it. They were going to pass over it.
Yeah, it was on a good cycle, so you could have just left it if you wanted. It looks like he's also not going to fix it, which... so... A higher level payoff debt run would be about an hour and a half, but it really depends on skill level and experience, because of the nature of the game. So there's probably about half an hour left of this race, if I had to guess. Yeah, the ending time will probably be somewhere around 2 hours for this race, in terms of, like, the total run length. So NightWolf, looks like he put all his blues on the fossil, on the enter split.
Yeah,
Which
he only
means-
has reds in FC.
Yeah, it's a pretty rare situation where you have more reds than blues, because NightWolf also made some mistakes on Enter Bullblack's Kingdom, so he ended up with not a lot of blues there compared to what we expect.
They both have lost a lot of mitites again.
Yeah, more Matites.
They've both lost a lot of Pikmin, well, especially purple Pikmin, which they've grown a lot of and lost more of.
Yeah, like Pi says, there's going to be a another match later. It's going to be a winners round match between Cap and Kira, who are two also pretty skilled runners at this game. So that match will be pretty close as well.
They're both top 10, aren't they?
I don't know about top 10. I don't know if Kira's top 10 right now. Because Kira was also an emulator player for a while, so I don't know if their PB is very high on the boards yet. It might be. I just don't know without looking. Is the thing.
Yeah. Also, I'm not too confident in ElectricFortune's Poco count because he did not reach 6,000 on SCX3.
Yeah, both of these runners were struggling with bugs earlier in the run, which
Okay,
is
despite everything, though, they both like nailed Rimwalk.
yeah. Yeah, that
Like,
trick is
genuinely
not
flawless.
trivial. This is not a free trick, so yeah, it's pretty good to get it like pretty quickly like that. Ooh, Electric Fortune, confident on the 6. Oh, if he starts moving this treasure like now, yeah. Okay, he played this like really urgently, this first room. Oh, he might have trouble though, because this computer part's not moving and there's a bomb there now.
Oh yeah. I think now it should be fine as long as the anode gets stunned. Okay, White died. I'm not sure how. Probably tripped.
I think it was on the treasure.
Oh right, that was the one being carried. It was trying to carry it. Yeah, now.
Okay, he's gonna kill it for safety.
And now.
And then yeah, you gotta whistle off that anode. I think the hole is over there, but he didn't leave a captain. Okay, I will say the first like 10 to 15 seconds of this SCX6 were godlike. And then a little bit of spaghetti came in, but it was still pretty good so far.
This FC3 is very cubical, oddly. Like everything's kind of just in a square formation.
Yeah, this might be a bit of a harder read. I'm not sure where everything is right now.
I probably doubt either of these players knows to score very well, if at all.
NightWolf might. It's just kind of one of those experience things, because NightWolf also is not the most experienced runner. Like, he's been playing a lot recently, but, you know, it takes a lot of playing the game to pick up on these patterns and stuff.
Yeah, like, top runners have, like, around
If
thousands of runs.
I'm looking at this correctly, the ring should also be in here. but I didn't look at this other room too closely. Oh, there's an alcove over there. Yeah, it's definitely over here. Oh, no, there's not. I lied. Then I don't know, actually.
I think the ring was back there because the gauge was still kind of high as he was leaving the room and the candle is kind of far away. Yeah, this room has no spawn points.
Yeah, this room has no spawn points, so there's no point in being over here. So I have to imagine
It's in
the
the corner where the little bull bears are, I think.
Yeah, I have to imagine the ring was in the same room as the candle. So the problem with fully buried treasures is that you can't just look at the floor and know where they are immediately, just because, well, at least as obviously as you can with other treasures, because other treasures obviously...
Yeah, definitely in this corner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because obviously with treasures that are just like standing out in the room already, then obviously you know where they are before you get over there. But the problem with buried treasures is you have to rely on the treasure gauge most of the time. So what we've tried to do instead as a community is we looked at how the game generates sublevels, and we use our knowledge of the generation called Cave Gen to determine where we think the treasures are most likely to be. So it's pretty much just like a super high level version of educated guessing, because sometimes we're still wrong and can get tripped up when things are like, when two spawn points have pretty close chances of having a treasure, then it gets kind of tricky. So yeah, like that's why when me and Teddy looked at this layout at first, we were pretty confident that the ring would be in the same room as the candle, because the far away rooms have really high chances of having treasures in their spawn points. It's also based on things like hazards and amounts of enemies in the way. And a key thing about FC3 in particular is that the room that didn't have the candle also didn't have any spawn points. At least if I'm remembering correctly. I'm pretty sure that's the case for that room.
Yes, each room has like it has a layout file in the game that basically tells where enemies can spawn, where players can spawn, where you can spawn, and where like it connects to other rooms. And that some rooms don't have any treasure spawns, and that was one of them. And everything was connected by a hallway, so there's no chance a treasure could be like anywhere near there.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky sometimes because a treasure being in a room cuts down the chances for that room to have another treasure. But the thing is that if there's nowhere else for another treasure to be, then they could just both be in the same room, which is what happened this time. Nobody gets sprays in Payoff Debt because it takes too long to unlock them because of the cutscenes. And they also don't, like, even if you had sprays for 0 seconds, there's not enough places to use them in the run. So the two combined make it so that it's just not worth getting them. Especially bitter sprays, because if you use a bitter spray to kill an enemy, you can't collect its bug body. And we need a lot of enemy corpses for Pokos in Payoff Debt, because it's faster to get those than it is to get complete extra treasures. There's an argument for spicy sprays, but they just don't save enough time to be worth getting. Like, it's closer than bitter sprays, but it's still not worth it by like a pretty significant margin.
Yeah, funnily enough, the only time where spices are even maybe worth it are in the task that's being developed, because that route does get to collect spices.
Yeah, the tasks can also do some trickery that isn't viable in an RTA context to unlock bitter sprays without the berries, but that's pretty niche as well. Like, the task is doing a pretty significantly different like gameplay strategy than RTA is for the most part.
Okay, NightWolf, you gotta turn your monitor brightness up because like this floor is just like Whole Piece 1.
Well, the thing is that, like, I mean, even on my monitor that has like insanely low brightness, like, you don't have to go that far in any direction to see where the other room is. Like, that's just kind of like
spray swap propaganda.
Yeah, I being one of the few people that have done attempts to get the lowest in-game time possible in Pikmin 2 upon completing the game. Okay, NightWolf, buddy, you gotta just throw your purples here and then re-whistle them.
You cannot just wait for the butterflies.
Yeah, because the problem with this combat here is that the purples are pretty much always going to be hitting those spectralids, the butterflies that go in the Mimitas. But the thing is that like getting them out of the way pretty much means like going all around the Mamuta and waking him up and having the combat be a mess. And you can't really do that either. So you pretty much like the strategy that we typically go for on this floor is that you just pretty much accept that those spectralids are going to become an issue, and you throw your purples and then whistle some back and then keep throwing, and then they'll eventually hit the Mamuta. Electric Fortune, I don't think put enough Pikmin on the Ursidae for it to collect on this split, but it should at least be close enough to the ship that it'll be fine, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, because only 9 means he threw purples onto it, which means it'll be extra slow. I'm not sure how those. Oh, these purple leaves, I think. I don't know how they got burned though.
I think he just didn't wait for them. Like you typically get burned there if you don't wait at all for your purples. I mean, obviously there's levels of like how long you should wait because you don't want to just sit there wasting time, but there's like a little sweet spot in between there. These tournaments typically are like a yearly or bi-yearly thing so far. It's mostly just based on the interest of the community, how often they happen. We do have races that are not part of tournaments like this, pretty much weekly, except they haven't really been happening recently because, there's a tournament, so it kind of fulfills that niche. But yeah, we do races pretty frequently in Pikmin 2 because part of the advantage of races compared to just like doing regular attempts is that like the way that people typically improve in Pikmin 2 is they like share what they did when they were playing a floor or something with another runner or with the community in general, like with all the runners. And then they go like, how would you guys have played this layout if this were you? And the problem with that is that like it's kind of hard to give really specific advice in hindsight because like what you see when you're playing the floor might not be exactly what the person who shared the clip with you saw when they were playing. So like it gets a little tricky sometimes when you try to like give somebody advice just based on like a clip. But when you're doing a tournament or just like a race in general, we use a set seed code. So you notice that these runners, like if you remember the layout that NightWolf got in this FC1, it was exactly the same as the one that Electric Fortune's getting right now in FC1 because they're using the same seed. And the benefit of this is that the runners can watch the race back and look at how the other runner did it. And the benefit of the tournament is that we're restreaming the matches, and typically there will be at least one, if not multiple commentators on that know a lot about the game. And you can listen to the feedback that they give you on the layout and the feedback that they give the other runner on the layout and just general, like, gameplay, words of wisdom. Yeah, it also makes it a lot more fair that they're getting the same RNG. Pi is completely correct. It doesn't affect things that like aren't based on the like cave layout seed. Like for example, on FC3, there's a big bulbear that roams the floor, and it could just decide to go one way for one runner and the other way for the other runner. And there's nothing you can really do to control that. But I mean, having the same RNG seed at least makes it like way more fair.
Okay, so NightWolf had 93 Pikmin entering Perplexing Pool, which is, just say, not ideal.
Oh, he has 7,700 Pokos too. What happened?
Hold up.
Oh, he forgot something.
You forgot some things.
Yeah, as in, yeah, like multiple things. Like, you don't just forget 300 Pokos of treasures in one spot. Like, something happened here. He might not be able to finish unless he goes for some, auxiliary treasure options.
Like, yeah, you gotta take a unique approach to things.
We're gonna be seeing a custom route here.
It's just cave complete COS kind of route here.
I mean, honestly, getting like several extra above ground treasures might be easier than that, or better.
And NightWolf might not even know that Broken Gate can be collected with purples.
Yeah, Gherkin Gate is the treasure that is like just past the bridge here, next to the Yellow Onion. The Impediment Scourge is the one that's on the stump, and the Gherkin Gate is the one that's like across the little area from that.
It's where the lamp was in Pikmin 1.
Yeah, there's no like monetary prize for this tournament. I don't think there was one for like any of the tournaments in the game's history.
Yeah,
Mostly just because we're all
Pink-
broke, but also because we all also sort of realizes that things can just happen in races that skew it like super hard in one direction. Like it's pretty skill based on set seed, but like there are just certain things that will just auto lose you the race that are like not completely your fault. So like, you know, putting a monetary prize on something like that wouldn't really be that great, so you know.
And NightWolf at least realizes that he's hella behind in Poco, so he gets Love Nugget there, the first like optional treasure that you can kind of get if you realize you're behind.
It's also going to be tricky for NightWolf because they were both really behind on bugs in the middle of the run as well. Okay, NightWolf being pretty aggressive here with the gate and the dig as well, which is good. Because this floor is really small and compact compared to a lot of other floors, so the speed that you start these like slow things like gates and this buried treasure that take a lot of time really determines your like how quickly you get through the floor, because there's only so much that can go wrong when it's this small. Also, NightWolf might have left all his whites over here, so yeah, he's gonna have to swap this carry. But yeah, overall this was pretty clean from NightWolf. I think ElectricFortune is about to make the exact same mistake that NightWolf made and not realize where the ring is.
Let's go, Bulbman!
Yeah, he hasn't realized yet. He's going all the way over here when there's no
Oh yeah,
possible...
this is gonna lose a significant amount of time.
Okay, well, he at least notices the gauge right now, so I think it shouldn't be long before he
Yeah, it
finds
shouldn't be
the...
longer than NightWolf took. If you love Bulbin like I do, you should drop a follow to the Pikmin community channel for future updates.
Yeah, definitely follow the channel for the future races in the tournament and also things that we do after the tournament is over in the future.
And also if you love Bulbin, because they're awesome.
And that there are also IRL meetups that we like doing in the summer, and there is going to be one in August this year, and typically some things get streamed from that onto the community channel. Also make sure to drop a follow of all the runners that you watch races of in the tournament, because they're all cool and they all play a pretty cool speed game. Okay, NightWolf has to reset. Okay, that is just... You gotta see that coming. Like, you can't just run straight between two anodes like that.
Is he not... man? You gotta reset here.
Excuse me, NightWolf. You have to reset this floor. You can't finish the run with 37 Pikmin.
That gate will take, like, real-life minutes to go down.
Okay, he's just gonna make us completely suffer through the rest of this viewing experience, I guess.
Okay, well, so the thing is, NightWolf reset twice, but he also doesn't know that ElectricFortune is, like, several minutes behind him. So he's probably panicking. He's like, I'm already lost. So, like, but...
Yes, because general etiquette of these races means that, like, if the racers were to, like, be watching the stream and know where they are in comparison to the other runner, then they would be getting free info because of the layouts. Like, because it's set seed, they would know what layout's coming up if they were behind and they looked at the stream. So, yeah, that's why generally we say, you know, to not do that. So, but the issue with that right now is that NightWolf probably thinks that he just lost on the spot from that. So he's continuing with 37 Pikmin, even though he should
like,
have reset the floor.
Pokos.
Yeah, so this race, probably gonna go significantly over 2 hours now.
Yeah, if you're, like, planning, like, a coffee date at, like, 5, that's probably not gonna happen if you want to finish the race.
Also, this might let ElectricFortune come back if he plays
like,
the rest of the run really... If he starts playing really well right now, then he could just come back from that.
Because like
'Cause
NightWolf will just lose so much time here.
Yeah, I don't think NightWolf really realizes the full extent of how much time he's losing from that.
Well, he also thinks he's already lost the race, so that's not helping his case.
So yeah, this is one of the races of all time.
I couldn't have put it better.
Yeah, that is also a good point. Make sure to join the Pikmin speedrunning Discord if you're interested in running the game, or if you're interested in what goes on in the Discord, because there's a lot of activity with this game specifically in the Discord when people discuss, different strategies, different routes, different ways of playing a certain layout, and things like that. And for the tournament, we also post in the Discord every time the community channel goes live. Not just for the tournament, actually, like just any time it's live with anything. Usually someone posts in the Discord. And you can join and talk to all your favorite runners, like Curtis DN and Teddy Ursa Yoshi.
Also, Urban, who went live and telling us to watch the end of the race. I'm not sure he knows that he's gonna finish the stream before we do.
Yeah, well, is Urban actually live right now? I didn't.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's... Well, I mean, with Urban, it's probably like, because Urban is one of the lucky few that has a life outside of speedrunning, so this is probably his only available opportunity to do runs today, so yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, most Pikmin speedrunners don't have live because Pikmin speedrunning is not exactly revenue.
And we do it because we're cool, not because it's the best thing to do.
Yeah, so currently they're at kind of similar Poco amounts, which is a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, considering NightWolf's like 4 sub-levels ahead, or 5.
Well, he's like 7. Loki, you might want to get the matchbox here.
-1 purple. That water dumple just completely owned that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see if this FC6 was playable the first time, but it looks like the answer is hell no.
It's not. Because the hole's in the big room, which is 2 rooms away.
Yeah, so this is one of the floors in Payoff Debt that we pretty much just skip every run no matter what, because the general philosophy is that we want to be carrying treasures with whites because they're way faster, but FC6 has water, so we can't do that. But sometimes the 2 statues on that floor are gettable because they're not behind water, so we can use whites on them sometimes. But the issue is that that's not all the time, so we can't rely on it, so we usually just plan to skip that floor. But sometimes the floor is really good, and we could get those treasures and skip something else. But the problem is that on those layouts that are playable, it's usually really hard, and pretty prone to losing Pikmin as well. Like in AT, we have to play that floor, and it's one of the worst floors in the first portion of the run.
Yeah, the diamond getting in while fighting BLL is not exactly what you're striving for on this floor.
Yeah. I mean, NightWolf's lucky that he even had enough purples in the first place to do BLL.
Yeah.
Because yeah, as you've noticed, we don't have yellows. And in case you've never seen a Payoff Debt run before, these runners will not be getting yellows at all. Because we
Wait, they're yellow Pikmin? What do they look like?
They have some ears and they get thrown high and they suck. And in AT we have to use them, so yeah.
In AT you kill them on purpose.
Yeah, we murder them all at the end of the run. It's really funny. But yeah, we don't get them in Payoff Debt because there's early blues, and it turns out when you can get blues out of sequence without needing yellows, then yellows don't actually do anything for Payoff Debt, so we just don't get them.
Oh, in AT, you quote-unquote have to use them. Because with a series of not so intended mechanics, you can actually get every treasure without unlocking yellow Pikmin.
Yeah, it just turns out that it's really, really slow. So we don't do it in like speed runs, but there are challenge runs that do that kind of stuff. Okay, Electric Fortune on a way more reasonable money pace.
Yeah, that's
He
actually
pretty-
like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, he made up a lot of money in the middle of this run.
I'm not sure if he got like an extra treasure on like XCX1 or something, but now he's in great pace.
I don't think he did. Pretty sure he didn't.
Oh yeah, fighting Boisterous 9 blues.
Oh, whoa, his stream cutting out?
Whoa.
Oh, it might have
What
just
the-
been a. I thought he just like ended stream or something.
No,
I guess
it just
I guess he just had some issues with his capture card.
he stomped his foot in rage and unplugged his capture card. I made that story up.
So, NightWolf is about a whole citadel of spiders ahead, but NightWolf also has 32 Pikmin and is going to have even less Pikmin because this treasure has to get in before you can enter the cave.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is about one population behind.
Yeah, I mean, even if NightWolf had double this amount of Pikmin, that still would be really low Pikmin going into Glutton's Kitchen.
Needless to say, you're not the route quote unquote isn't supposed to lose 70 Pikmin to anodes in COF 3.
So Electric Fortune may or may not know right now, but he actually could reasonably come back from this.
I don't think he knows.
He more than likely does not know, but it is possible for him to come back. Okay, you just gotta deal with this with Louis later. Okay, he didn't dismiss before switching captains, so Olimar just ran off the scales. But it's not a big deal, because, I mean, he would have had to get Louis up the scales afterwards anyway,
Okay,
so...
that is not completable in GK.
Yeah, 25 Pikmin is... You're gonna be struggling.
No, I'm talking about his 8632 Pokos.
Oh yeah, that's also... GK only has like 1,300 in treasures.
No, it is less than that. Maybe
Well,
1300 bucks if you get everything.
Well, we get 1,100 in pod. And well, yeah, it probably only has like 1,200 something. I forget. Yeah,
The
Glutton's
GK is
Kitchen.
supposed to be the end of the run.
Yeah, it's the last cave that we enter.
Although maybe not this run.
I highly doubt NightWolf will be going to Submerged Castle.
Well, I'm talking about like
there.
above ground stuff.
Oh well, yeah. Well, GK is the last
Wait,
cave. that will be
25
entered.
GK should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I've seen Kira finish with less than this, so.
Okay. Kira, who's playing later today, by the way, at 7EDT, come watch the same stream, is notorious for losing Pikmin and just, like, tanking losses. Oh, -1 purple.
Yeah, this might be a bit of a problem, because there's a lot of dwarves here. So yeah, the GK is going to be the last cave of the run. Submerged Castle is really slow to get, well, not really slow to get to. It's pretty slow to get into because it's basically the same as GK, but like an additional like 10 to 15 seconds more. And you have to like throw all your Pikmin up the scales all the time instead of doing a like instead of like leaving them down there and using 2 captains, you actually have to throw them up. So Submerged Castle is slower to get into. And the treasures in Submerged Castle are really, really cheap. Like, they cost, like, nothing, so it's really bad for payoff debt, so we just don't go.
The actual problem is that it is, like, 0 money. Like, every treasure does not even add up to, like, 600 Pokos.
And you can't bring whites in, which is kind of, like, the whole reason we're able to go so fast. Like, you're forced to do the whole cave with blues, so it's even, like, worse than that. And then Shower Room is the only other cave available. And the problem with Shower Room is that there's an electric gate in front of it, and there's no way of getting in there reasonably without rush boots, which we don't get. Or yellows, which we also don't get. And even if you could enter Shower Room for 0 seconds, it has a lot of really stupid floors and slow enemies to kill.
Your
So it's
Shower Room is,
still-
like, really bad without sprays.
Yeah, so it like still wouldn't even be worth doing, probably.
They consider how, like, half the enemies just have, like, several thousand HP, which is more than most bosses. And the game dev just kind of, like, spew them out on several floors.
Okay, unfortunately, Electric Fortune's going all the way over here, and there's no treasures, which he
Anyway,
needed to.
He didn't party wipe, so that's a plus.
Well, not yet. Teddy did party wipe on the other side of the floor. But yeah, the problem is that Electric Fortune spent like 30 to 40 seconds over there, and he needed to spend maybe like 10 seconds over there at most. Like, that's just one of those things that, like, if you're like a really, really good runner, you would have realized that you were in the wrong part of the floor like a million years ago.
Yeah, not only does NightWolf like crying, but he also just got bread bugged.
Yeah, bread bugs are really cool and fun enemies. So there's one treasure on this floor that can get bread bugged.
And it did.
Yeah, it in fact did. So now NightWolf has to slowly kill this bread bug.
And the blowhog because he has no Pikmin.
Yeah, I would have just fully killed that blowhog, honestly.
I mean, he will, but I don't know. I think he just meant to, but he goofed up or something. So flip the wrong enemy. You gotta kill the blowhog.
Okay, we are having a lot of trouble with this bread bug. And then the problem's going to be that even after you kill this bread bug, you don't have enough Pikmin here to carry the, Oh, and then there's an electric
No,
gate.
he does.
Well, I mean, if he goes back and gets the rest of his Pikmin, because, like, he could get bread bugged again with 10 Pikmin.
There were some more zaps. 2 Pikmin did die to the electric gate, and now the treasure's no longer moving.
Yeah, we are having a grand old time. I promise that
yeah.
not every race goes like this.
So the thing is, moving objects, that if you throw something to a moving object, it will not be there anymore because it is moving. Physics 101 with Teddy.
Oh my god, losing your only remaining purple. Nightwolf cannot lose any more Pikmin, or else he cannot carry the compass.
Oh wait, he can't carry GK5.
Oh yeah, he's literally just screwed. He can't... Well, he can grow purples, actually, on 5, if he wants.
I'm not sure he wants to anymore. Oh wait, he's a purple left.
Oh, he does still have a purple.
Apparently so.
Well, one purple is not enough. Oh.
Yeah, his total carrying amount is 25.
Oh, Nightwolf also will just be completely screwed if it's high invigorator. That's correct.
Oh.
Like, literally, the run won't be finishable.
Yeah, NightWolf is just...
He doesn't even have enough Pikmin minimum to carry that. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's high. He just can't finish.
Well, if it's not high, he can't carry the satellite of GK5.
Well, he could if he grows purples on GK5. The problem here on 4 is that the minimum carry of Invigorator is 20. He has 1 purple and 17 Pikmin total, so he can't even carry Invigorator at all.
No, that's not... Hello?
10 plus 6... Oh, wait, I'm stupid.
Oh, no, don't lose it, don't lose it!
My brain thought that he would have, like, 16 carry power for some reason.
Okay, -1 white.
Okay, -2 more whites.
Or you gotta be really careful here. Yes, 16 carry power, 17 Pikmin. I guarantee he'll lose more Pikmin to these dwarves. And I was correct.
These dwarves are not going to be a problem. I don't know why we're just ignoring these dwarves too, but... God, I hope ElectricFortune just puts us out of our misery soon.
Yeah, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime race, honestly. Like, this does not happen with any frequency in the slightest.
We were all born too late to explore the world, too early to explore the universe, but at just the right time to see NightWolf versus ElectricFortune, where NightWolf squad wipes on COS3.
A quote for the ages. Alright, let's now spend 4 more minutes doing Moke throws. Just kidding. I believe in.
Oh, he gets it. He gets it. He has to put all his Pikmin on that, or it can get bread bugged.
Oh, it didn't kill it? Oh.
Well,
That's the
he
last
killed.
purple.
I think. Well, he killed one. I thought there was like 3 on this floor though. Oh yeah, he's getting.
There's one bread bug on GK4.
No, there's at least 2.
Oh.
Because there was a bread bug home right under the moke throw spot, and then there's one there. So.
Oh, there are 2 then.
Also, he can indeed get Invigorator because he has 1 purple and 10.
I'm not sure why he's by the
Yeah,
hole.
he's not going for it though. Apparently. Okay, now he realizes. I guess that was just for like fun or something. So yeah, go back and get this.
Oh yeah, fun when you have 13 Pikmin in GK4.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. He's the only one that's watching his gameplay and having fun right now.
Okay, you need to do 3 Pokos.
Yeah, I honestly would have tried to collect that bread bug. Except I don't
You can
think, like, he has 13 Pikmin total, but only 22 carrying this. So is he missing one somewhere else? Or am I bad at math again?
No, you're bad at math. Because one of them is 10 instead of 1, so it's only plus 9, not plus 10.
I'm sorry, I never have to do math with these numbers, ever. I can't say I've ever been in this situation before.
I've still seen Kira finish with fewer.
I don't know if I have. This might be new territory, honestly.
Nah, I've seen her finish with 11. Okay, so now you can grow purples.
I'm only growing 2, just grow 5.
Yeah, just grow 5. Bird has clearly never ran low Pikmin. Somehow it doesn't shock me.
Pi, have you ever done that?
You're telling Pi about a challenge. Of course he's done it.
The only thing Pi runs is the challenges.
Please tell me you're local recording this.
NightWolf realizing a minute into this floor that he doesn't have enough purples for this antenna. Good thing he nectared that red and lost it immediately.
That red got his final wish. That was like that red's Make-A-Wish wish was getting nectared, and then he just died of cancer.
What are the chances that NightWolf gets a Pikmin extinction on 6?
Not out of the question at all. Oh, the purple!
No, you need that guy.
You need that purple.
This is the problem, because he only has 3 purples.
Yeah, like you gotta carry each treasure one at a time.
I hope that was Matisse. Okay, it wasn't.
God, you wish that upon this man.
What are we doing here?
No Pi. With 81 Pikmin, he is nearly 7 times the amount of Pikmin NightWolf has. I don't know why you're just killing Almar. Because he's taking damage from that. Dude, grow more purples. Okay, now he realizes.
You just knapsack with one of these captains.
I've never seen a captain so low after Snaggered Hole. But the push, the huge party hat push.
I think I lost a captain on COC 8 before.
Okay, that's understandable though. Yo, the double kill with the boulder, I've actually not seen that very often at all. Again, you can knapsack with the captain, they won't die.
Yeah, for some reason, knapsacking captains are immune to being damaged by boulders.
Okay, well, they're treated like any pellet would, or any object. Any carryable object, sorry, I used the in-game, the internal name for stuff.
Well, the thing is, they're not immune to, like, Bulborbs biting them. Okay, ElectricFortune, you need to stop that, because you're gonna get, bread bugged. Okay,
That's not how bread bugs work, Fortune.
He threw 1 purple at that and expected
It's
it to
too
work.
late.
Oh my god.
However, Louis is down. Huge advancements being made here. And also, he's still 300 Pokos behind. Nothing's changed about that.
Okay, so Electric Fortune killing this bread bug with purples, which is actually not ideal because they don't do more damage with these head bumps, and the stuns actually like pause its animation.
Yeah, they take 0 stun damage. I just looked over at Electric Fortune and I was like surprised to see 2 treasures being carried at once.
Yeah, we haven't seen that on NightWolf screen for the last like 20 minutes.
Alright, so something tells me that NightWolf is gonna get bread bugged here. I just got a gut feeling.
Yeah, this is you know.
Oh, he lost 2 more Pikmin. That's not gonna help
God.
him.
They were both purples.
Alright, we actually might see the insane mechanic of Pikmin 2, where if an exploration kit treasure drops from a boss and you don't have enough Pikmin to carry it, the minimum carry will actually drop down to your number of Pikmin.
That's a super rare mechanic.
Yeah. It doesn't apply to any other treasures besides the exploration kit treasures.
For some reason,
What's the
GBV
10
is not trolling NightWolf skin.
I mean, Pi, do you actually think that NightWolf would reset? Have you seen his past 2 extinctions?
Yeah, if you didn't reset on COS 3, then why would you reset here? That would be some lame play.
As we've seen so far, NightWolf is not a lame player.
Yeah, he just likes to, you know, drag out the race. Make us sit for another few minutes.
I mean, he doesn't have enough Pokos. I think Electric Fortune will win.
Yeah, he also has not really done much to solve the Poco problem of being down by like 300.
Yeah, this is like extreme poverty.
Oof, Electric Fortune got those smoker throws. That was pretty good. Electric Fortune might win.
No, he's
Like-
definitely gonna win.
Oh, I mean, like, before NightWolf leaves GK. That's what I meant.
No, I don't think so. That's too big of an ask. Actually, there are a lot of treasures here. They're gonna be super slow.
NightWolf has 9 Pikmin.
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's exact. No, it's still 10 because he has purples left.
Oh, he's a purple. I wanted to see the mechanic.
How do you kill this electric wire with 9 Pikmin? Let's find out.
I mean, if you throw Pikmin onto the little nodes, even them landing on the wire will take damage if they're not purples. It's
Wait,
just
what?
like how you kill poison geysers without whites. It works in fire and electric,
Interesting.
which you opt not to do, which I don't agree with. Watch out!
Okay, if he lost the purple, then that was run over.
Oh yeah, that would be run over, but nothing else would be.
Yeah. No, it's still completable right now. If he lost that purple, then he couldn't finish. Hello, Nightwolf.
Seeing as it's basically over, I may as well join. This
It's
has been
not
a clown
over yet.
show. It's. I mean, look at this.
Why didn't you
I-
reset on COS 3?
Because I completely mentally checked out.
You were ahead by like 7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also, even if you weren't, you just can't do that. It's Pikmin 2.
Yeah. Now I was checked out in like Snaglet Hole, or something like that. I made some dumb mistake, and I was just out of it from there. And I think I missed a treasure as well on.
You missed more than one.
Not a treasure. It has, you were
God.
down 300 Pokos going into Perplexing Pool. It was not a
Yeah.
treasure.
That's I'm thinking. Surely I've missed like the big disc on SCX7, but I could have sworn I wait for that to get in, and I don't know what I've actually missed.
Wait, check your Picklepedia. End of the day, check your Picklepedia.
Will do.
My guess
where
is
am I gonna
Ursula
find
plus something else.
Ursula got in. I can't think of what else it would be. Scrap, the whole of VOR got in.
If you get 2 anodes and Scourge and Gherkingay, then you could finish.
No, I've played so bad that even if I did win that, I just gotta give it to Electric. I don't deserve it. I don't want to win like that.
Oh, it's
Like,
3 anodes. I can't count again.
mm.
Curtis versus Math has been a losing matchup so far. Yeah, earlier you missed it, but when you had 17 Pikmin and 1 purple, Curtis said you couldn't carry the cup, the refrigerator.
I was surprised I'd be able to get that. Oh, I overshot that.
Wait, you should grow yellows. It'd be funny.
I should, yeah.
Then you could finish.
I still don't know how this stupid nap works. Oh,
Well, you gotta run
if you
AT.
converted every single one of your Pikmin that exist into 10 Pokos, you'd still be under.
yep. I really don't
Did
understand this.
ElectricFortune get bread bugged? Did you get double bread bugged?
Yes.
Man.
Curtis just wants to go home.
Oh, that's the wrong way. Whatever. Hang on, I need to get this purple up here.
So ElectricFortune taking a dub today. Pretty hype.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm so completely checked out. You're right. I should have reset on COS 3. But you know, we throw like that sometimes. We throw for content.
It was throwing for anti-content though. Would have been
That
way
was not content.
because we could have at least analyzed the GK if you had 80 Pikmin.
Fair point.
Wait, is this cap percent? Oh, never mind. One more got in.
ElectricFortune is gonna come in here and be so surprised that he won.
Yeah.
Considering he's like minus 16 from PB now, I'd be surprised too. He just comes in seat level throwing yellows.
211. Hello, ElectricFortune. Oh,
You're
he's
still
deafened.
How's it
Oh,
going?
hello, Electric. Congrats on the win.
I didn't doubt that one.
Yeah, things
Uh,
happened.
I think things
And
us.
my run was a clown show. So yeah.
Yeah,
I've never
NightWolf,
had a run go that badly.
NightWolf made the executive decision of I'm not gonna reset on COS 3 despite losing 60 Pikmin.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your clown show happened late game. My clown show happened early game. So
Also,
this
Nightwolf
whole run
is,
has been
like
a clown
300
show, don't you
Pokos
worry.
down somehow.
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Mine all started on not quick killing Empress twice, and then it killed too many purples, and then my purples were bad for all of Awakening Wood.
Yeah, so like you guys were like tied after White Flower Garden 5 because Nightwolf reset EP twice.
Oh, okay. I see.
Alright, we're gonna go look up what I missed.
All right, so coming up later in the tournament, I need to actually look at what time tonight the match is. 7
I guess
p.m.
Nightwolf did
EST.
not in fact win.
Yep.
So at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we have Cap versus Kira in winners bracket. And now the winner of this match, which is ElectricFortune, will go on to play the loser of that match that's coming up later.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad I didn't decide to forfeit that.
And then as far as other matches coming up in the tournament, we have me versus Jack, which I will be going to losers for clarity. But that will probably be fun. And then in winners, we will also have Kemi versus the winner of the next match, Cap and Kira. So that one will be really good as well. And then in losers side, we got JPEP and SBU, which is also going to be really close because JPEP has been on his come up very recently in the last like year and a half or so. And SBU also like, multiple Pikmin game legend, also very good at Pikmin 2. Then we got Max versus Heartpiece, the PAL showdown, except probably Max will be running US version. And then we got Ghostly and Maya, which will also be pretty cool because Maya is, a little bit lower in the skill totem pole, but also, it'll be pretty cool to see Maya compete against Ghostly because Ghostly got that cool old school style, the fundamentals. So it'll be a good point of reference, even if she doesn't win. She could still win though. It'd be pretty cool.
So NightWolf does not have the SCX7 pictures.
Yeah, so currently the only match that we have scheduled is the one that's tonight. So come back in about an hour and 45 minutes for Cap versus Kira.
Should rate Urban.
Yeah, are we
that's pretty much everything I had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cap, I'm
GG,
so
everyone.
checked out. I had a party nuke on COS3 and didn't think to soft reset. So yeah, that happened.
Alright, GG everyone.
Yep.
We'll hopefully see you guys later tonight. Thanks for watching.